If corruption stopped today, the Philippines could be one of the richest nations on earth. In this film, we take a quiet look at something loud, the steady sound of money leaving our nation. Not through war, not through disaster, but through the ordinary rhythm of how we govern ourselves. Each year, we pay taxes, we vote, we hope. And yet, each year, we ask the same question: where did the money go? If tomorrow every peso reached the project it was meant for, every classroom built, every medicine bought, every bridge completed, the Philippines could fund every child's education, provide healthcare for all, and still save enough to reduce national debt. This is not a dream. It is simple arithmetic, a reminder that we are not poor because we lack wealth, but because too much of it never reaches its purpose. The system that leaks. The national budget for 2025 stands at roughly $633 trillion. It represents the collective labor of over 100 million Filipinos, the teachers, nurses, seafarers, vendors, and farmers whose daily work funds the republic. In principle, the process is clear. The executive proposes, Congress reviews, agencies implement, and the Commission on Audit verifies results. In practice, something else happens. Lawmakers may not execute projects directly, yet they influence which projects appear, which ones survive committee debates, and who wins the contracts attached to them. The law separates legislation and implementation. Politics quietly stitches them back together. Insiders call it the development fund. Critics call it legalized leakage. A typical story begins with a promise: a road, a school, a bridge. Before it is even built, a portion, often 30%, has already been spoken for under the label of facilitation or coordination. On paper, every peso is accounted for. On the ground, a third has evaporated before the first bag of cement arrives. Multiply that small bleed across thousands of projects, and the quiet leak becomes a flood. We, the citizens, see the symptoms. Potholes returning months after repairs, buildings half-finished, equipment rusting in storage. But the true wound lies in the design itself. A structure that allows money to change direction without leaving fingerprints. 5 ways we lose our future. Experts describe 5 recurring points where the nation's wealth escapes. Let's open them one by one. 1. Insertions. After the president submits the proposed budget, Congress revises it line by line. In those revisions, new items quietly appear: additional roads, local halls, community centers. Each small enough to avoid attention, together large enough to reshape billions. No record shows who added them. The public version lists them as if they had always been there. This is how invisible money gains a legal face. 2. Political influence. The Supreme Court struck down the pork barrel system in 2013, but its spirit still hovers in agency corridors. Endorsement letters replace allocation lists. A recommendation becomes an instruction. Refusal can mean losing next year's budget. Compliance ensures political peace. 3. Procurement manipulation. Bidding is meant to guarantee fairness. Yet some invitations describe requirements so narrow that only one firm qualifies. At other times, 3 companies submit offers, all linked to the same owner. The competition is theatrical, the conclusion predetermined. 4. Ghost implementation. A ribbon is cut, photographs taken, yet weeks later, the supposed project cannot be found. A bridge ends in a field, a road connects 2 non-existent barangays, or a building marked completed lacks a roof. Paperwork proves existence. Reality disagrees. 5. Audit blindness. Finally, oversight. Our auditors perform a difficult job with limited access. The Freedom of Information law remains unfinished, leaving citizens and even watchdogs to rely on requests, not rights. In a bureaucracy where everything must be requested, delay becomes the last shield of corruption. Together, these 5 leaks form a loop. Money enters the system full of hope, swirls through approval, bidding and liquidation, and exits clean on paper but dirty in truth. A culture of silence. Many who work inside government see these patterns. Some resist quietly, some adjust. They know that saying no to the process can mean professional isolation or worse. So the machinery turns. Each signature passes responsibility to the next. Not my fault, we hear. I only followed procedure. This diffusion of blame is how corruption becomes culture. It doesn't need villains. It only needs people too tired to fight the tide. And because everyone benefits a little, the system continues to harm a lot. The price of acceptance. The consequence of these small daily leaks is not just lost money, it is lost trust. When citizens stop believing that taxes help them, compliance collapses. When honest officials see dishonest ones promoted, morale disappears. And when development depends on favors, competence leaves the room. The tragedy of corruption is not only the peso stolen, but the opportunity never attempted. For every project delayed by greed, another community waits in darkness. Yet the numbers remain abstract until a story gives them shape, and there is one story that defines how invisible corruption can be. A case that dissolved quite literally before anyone could catch it. The Fertilizer Fund scam. Our story continues with a scandal that has become a manual for how to steal without leaving proof. It began in 2004. The government released $728 million to help farmers increase harvests. The product chosen for distribution was fertilizer, a common agricultural input, yet perfect for deception. Fertilizer can be buried, poured, or dissolved. It leaves no evidence once it mixes with soil or rain. Delivery receipts were signed, photos staged, trucks reported. The paperwork sparkled with legitimacy, delivered and received in good condition. But when investigators visited the towns, they found empty lots where suppliers supposedly stood and farmers who had never seen a single sack. The substance itself was chosen because it could disappear, and with it, the truth. By the time the fraud surfaced, the evidence was gone, literally washed away. That scandal, more than 20 years ago, did not end corruption. It taught it new tricks. Future operators learned that if you select the right kind of project, one difficult to verify, one that decays, melts, or dissolves, then accountability dissolves with it. The lesson behind the scandal. The fertilizer scam revealed a chilling principle. When corruption hides inside procedure, even justice must fill out a form to find it. Every document was complete, every audit signature present, and yet the public purpose had vanished. The crime was not the missing fertilizer alone, it was the absence of visibility. Once society accepts that paper equals proof, it creates a world where appearances defeat reality. That lesson still defines how money moves today. Perfect paperwork, invisible outcome. It is here that sociology and economics meet. To understand corruption, we must ask, what kind of society designs itself so that honesty is optional? Poverty by design. We often say, we are a developing nation. But if development were simply about time, 60 years of independence should have been enough. The deeper answer lies in our blueprint, the structure of our state itself. You do not need to travel through every province to see poverty. You only need to read our Constitution. In its noble attempt to restore democracy after dictatorship, it preserved old privileges while promising equality. Political dynasties remained legal. Economic monopolies survived behind protective language. The Constitution guaranteed representation, but never guaranteed that representation would be fair. The result is a system that appears democratic, but operates feudal. As sociologists describe it, the Philippines became a captured state, a government whose institutions serve those who captured them. Economists use a blunter term, institutionalized poverty. We are free to vote, but not free to rise. The same names appear on the ballot, the same networks own the land, and the same interests fund the campaigns. Each generation starts from the same rung of the ladder, because the ladder itself is owned. Poverty here is not only the lack of money, It is the presence of extraction. Wealth flows upward through rent, influence, and control of opportunity. The law becomes the channel through which inequality travels politely. That is why a farmer in 2025 can live under the same uncertainties as his great-grandfather in 1825. He tills land he does not own, borrows at interest he cannot afford, and depends on officials who distribute relief rather than rights. We call this underdevelopment, but perhaps it is simply design working as intended. Reading between the laws. If we examine the language of our institutions, we find that many programs speak of assistance, not empowerment. Assistance keeps people grateful. Empowerment makes them equal. For decades, policies have rewarded compliance more than creativity. Grants, scholarships, and licenses often pass through political gates. It is difficult to innovate when innovation must first ask permission. The economy then evolves not by productivity, but by proximity, to power, to friends, to patrons. This is why the country can grow in GDP yet remain poor in distribution. The top thrives in speculation and import. The base survives in remittances and endurance. We export labor, we import goods, and we call the remittances growth. But growth without inclusion is like a tree whose branches widen while its roots starve. And yet, understanding this design does not mean accepting it. If humans built the system, humans can rebuild it. A question of belonging. So the question becomes, what kind of nation do we want to be? A country where power is inherited like property, or a society where leadership is earned through service? A state that measures success by budgets released, or a republic that measures it by lives improved? The answer begins where silence ends. For too long, we have spoken about corruption as if it were a storm we must wait out. But storms pass, systems persist. To fix corruption, we must fix design. And design in the 21st century is not drawn on paper anymore. It is written in data. If corruption hides in darkness, then light must become a system too, structured, constant, unavoidable. In the next chapter, we explore how transparency itself can be engineered, how technology can replace secrecy with structure, and turn information into our most powerful form of justice. Transparency as technology reform does not begin with anger. It begins with visibility. We often imagine honesty as a moral quality, but in governance, honesty is also an infrastructure. When every transaction leaves a digital trace, corruption loses its camouflage. Imagine a nation where each project has a public identification code. Every payment is time-stamped and visible online. Every photograph of construction is GPS tagged. And every citizen can search it all from a phone. In such a system, concealment becomes difficult, and transparency turns effortless. Countries that built this digital sunlight, Estonia, Georgia, South Korea, reduced waste dramatically, not because their citizens were purer, but because their systems made dishonesty exhausting. We can do the same. Our tools already exist. What we need is the will to connect them. The 7 reforms experts in open governance describe 7 reforms that close almost every leak. 1. No lump sum funds. Every peso must be tied to a location, a timeline, and a result. Funds without faces become temptation with paperwork. 2. The budget diff portal. Publish, side by side, the president's proposed budget and the final version passed by Congress. Every edit must carry a digital signature so the public can see who changed what. 3. E-bidding only. All government procurements conducted online, recorded automatically, impossible to erase. The bidding documents themselves become public archives. 4. An open contracting database. From planning to payment, contracts must be searchable. Supplier, cost, completion photo, and feedback. Nothing hidden, nothing personal, everything procedural. 5. Contractor scorecards. Every company that builds for the public earns a reputation score based on delivery, quality, and compliance. Excellence rewarded, failure barred. 6. Citizen Audit Corps. Volunteers equipped with mobile tools verify projects. Roads measured, classrooms photographed, clinics inspected. Their reports feed directly into the Audit Commission system. 7. Whistleblower protection and rewards. Because courage needs safety. Those who reveal wrongdoing deserve both recognition and security. With these 7 rules, we move from chasing thieves to designing a system they cannot enter. Governance becomes not an act of faith, but an act of engineering. The arithmetic of integrity. What happens if we succeed? Economists estimate that between 700 billion and 1 trillion pesos disappear each year through corruption and inefficiency. Recovering even half of that would change everything. With those savings, the nation could build 7,000 new schools, fund universal health care, modernize irrigation and flood control, and reduce foreign debt within a decade. Over 10 years, honest accounting alone could produce a 10 trillion peso surplus, a national reserve built not on loans, but on integrity. The equation is simple. Corruption removed equals opportunity regained, and the benefits extend beyond money. Transparency restores confidence. Confidence attracts investment. Investment creates employment. Employment revives dignity. A clean system is not only moral, it is profitable. Changing the narrative. The idea of a corrupt Philippines has persisted for generations, repeated so often that it feels permanent. But corruption is not a trait, it is a habit of institutions. Habits can change. When we automate transparency, we rewrite the national story, from one of blame to one of design. We stop saying, "That's just how it is," and begin asking, "How should it be?" Each reform we adopt chips away at cynicism. Each disclosure builds trust brick by brick. In time, the same Filipino creativity that has built global success abroad can flourish at home, because the playing field will finally be level. The role of citizen systems do not maintain themselves. People do. Transparency will work only if citizens use it. Ask your local government for its list of 20% development fund projects. Check the postings on PhilJeps for who won the contracts. Support journalists and organizations that track spending. Every inquiry, every shared post, every discussion keeps the lights on. The fight against corruption is not the work of heroes alone. It is the quiet discipline of millions watching together. When citizens become auditors in spirit, public office regains its meaning. Service, not survival. Looking forward. Imagine what the next generation might inherit if we stay the course. A government where data replaces rumor, budgets that read like promises kept, a bureaucracy that celebrates delivery rather than ceremony. In that world, political power would no longer be measured by access to funds, but by competence proven in the open. Our children would see honesty not as an exception to admire, but as the ordinary rhythm of work well done. Transparency is not a punishment for the dishonest. It is a reward for the deserving. A nation reclaimed. The Philippines has everything it needs to prosper: resources, intelligence, resilience, and faith. What it lacks is alignment, the connection between intention and outcome. When that alignment returns, progress will no longer depend on luck or lineage. The same bayanihan that builds houses after storms can build systems that prevent those storms of corruption. The same creativity that wins awards abroad can design transparent governance at home. We have never lacked capacity. We have lacked continuity. But once transparency becomes permanent, it becomes culture. And culture outlives corruption. The closing call. We end not with despair, but with possibility. Corruption is not destiny. It is simply the default of systems left in the dark. And darkness, as history teaches, always yields to light. So let us keep asking, where did the money go? Let us keep insisting that answers be public. Support the passage of the Freedom of Information Law. Vote for leaders who publish data, not slogans. Teach the young that patriotism includes reading the budget. In doing these quiet acts, we rebuild trust, not through speeches, but through evidence. The Philippines we dream of is not far away. It is hidden beneath layers of paper, waiting for us to turn the page. When we finally do, we will discover that we were never a poor nation, only a generous one, too often betrayed by its own design. Honesty is not beyond us. It is within our reach, waiting for our collective will to lift it into the light. This is our story. This is our chance to change its ending. Fade out. Calm instrumental music rises. The screen fills with morning light over Manila Bay.